Hello there, adventurers, and welcome back to Neon's Game Night. Tonight, we are taking a look at the recently released Dragon Ruins 2, developed and published by Grave Robber Foundation. The game came out 1 week ago today, on January 17th, 2025, on Steam. It is Steam Deck compatible, just like the first game was, and I'll have links down below to the store page for Dragon Ruins 2, as well as Dragon Ruins Run. So, Dragon Ruins 2 is described as a dungeon crawling RPG for tired people. That's exactly kind of how the first one was described as well, and I am a tired people, and I like dungeon crawling RPGs. The first one was actually covered by a friend of the channel and longtime supporter, Clay, aka Terminally Nerdy, and his video on it is actually what got me interested in the first game and got me to buy it and play it. I just haven't been able to do a video on it. However, for Dragon Ruins 2, Grave Robber Foundation graciously gave me a review code for the game, so I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very excited to jump into this and see what is different, see what has been updated and changed. Already, just by looking at some of the key features, I can already see some differences. So we can assemble a party of 4 adventurers, take on quests, seek treasure, and grow stronger through automatic battles. We can find new equipment and unlock new skills to get an edge over your enemies, and revisit completed quests to see new stories unfold within the familiar areas. So I'm very excited to jump in here. The first game is a very simplistic, easygoing first-person dungeon crawler, and the battles happen automatically, and it sounds like it's just kind of building off of that in a lot of ways. I jumped into it very briefly to test audio levels and stuff, so we're going to go ahead and actually restart and see how things go from there. Are you sure you want to start over from the very beginning? Yes. Alright, so the first thing we are prompted to do is creating our party of 4 brave adventurers. Looks like there's actually quite a bit more stats maybe than last time. Yes, we have different characters here. Oh, and they actually have names this time. So we got Albert, who is a knight. Looks like there are some stats there. What do we have? We got health, attack, physical defense, magic defense, speed. Interesting. And then I wonder, damage conversion and the knee buster. I'm wondering what that means. Is that like a special skill? Interesting. So immediately, there's already a lot more here that kind of helps differentiate characters from each other. In the previous game, all that really changed was like how fast they were and their sort of starting health and defense. And that was kind of it. There wasn't too much that separated people, and I'm wondering if with the different skills here at the bottom, that it might seem like party composition might matter a little bit more than it did in the previous game, which I think is really cool. Alright, so we have quite a few examples of characters here. Ooh, we can play as Gert the Dwarf. I'm wondering if these character names are randomly generated, or if they're set every time. If they're randomly generated, I think that's pretty cool. Let's see here. We've got quite a few things here. Last game, the first 2 characters you selected were going to be at the front line. So you wanted them to have a good amount of health and a good amount of physical defense, because they would naturally be hit a lot more often. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. The character designs are awesome, by the way. The art style of the Dragon Ruins 1 and 2 They share a very similar style, and I think what Grave Robber Foundation has done in the art style department is really awesome. Also, the music is stellar, very atmospheric, and really gets you in that dungeon crawling mood. But I feel like I have to go with Tobias as one of my characters, right? Like, look at him. He is ready. His class is Crusher. It's just a little dude with a big, like, Morning Star. Like, how can you not? Okay, so, well, oh, there's an ape. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so his attack is 17 and physical defense of 8. Is that typically pretty good to have at the front line then? Yeah, so a knight's a pretty good example of all-arounder. Yeah, so let's go ahead and we're going to have Tobias as one of our characters. His special skill, whether it's a skill or an attribute, is that he can do armor breaking, which inflicts defense debuffs upon enemies. I wonder how those go into play. Like, if those are automatically activated. Because the thing about the first Dragon Ruins is that it was completely auto battle. You just walked around, you explored the dungeon, and you were trying to defeat a dragon. That was the whole premise of the game, and you weren't really supposed to think about too much about aside from going back to town, leveling up, getting some equipment upgrades, and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if this is something that you have to activate while you're in battle. I don't know. Now, who should we have next? These people don't have very much physical defense. Justina is a fighter, but her defense isn't super great either. I wouldn't want to have the front line. Etchizin is a samurai. That seems pretty freaking cool. There wasn't a samurai in the first game that I can remember. His special skill is Rage, chance of an attack buff when taking damage. Yeah, we're gonna choose a samurai. We're gonna have a samurai in our party. That's a pretty easy decision, I think. All right, so we need some. So we got some people that have. They're not the fastest, 50 and 59, but they have decent. They both have 8 defense and 15 and 17 attack. So we can look for some high attack or low defense people. See, attack 17, speed 74. So that is a big difference. They can attack much more often. Okay, we have an archer with 15 attack, 5 physical defense, 61 speed, and can stun enemies. Interesting. But the ranger, Helios the ranger, has speed plus 3, so is his speed actually 63 or I mean 65, or is it 59 plus the 3 to equal 62? I don't know. I also don't know how much party composition matters in this game versus the previous game. Previous game, it didn't really seem to matter a whole lot. But, ooh, poison. So I think we'll do Karis the Warlock. And then let's do that Ranger and see how things settle together. Okay. Alright. Hit return. It's all keyboard and mouse controls, by the way. Actually, keyboard controls. There's no mouse inputs whatsoever. It's all keyboard. And it actually I'm sure plays well on a controller. The first Dragon Ruins plays extremely well on a controller, plays great on the Steam Deck. I finished my first playthrough of the game on Steam Deck, just for reference. Alright, so we're here in Fastly, the capital of Isigwar. It is day 1 in year 1000, and already there's some differences here. In the first game, you just entered the maze, and you had one dungeon. You just entered the dungeon, and you were looking for a dragon. It looks like in this game, we can take on various quests that it looks like, okay, they have different adventure ranks as well, so that's interesting. Definitely looks like there's a bit more of a progression, a bit more of a thing that we're supposed to do, and ultimately build up to Dragon Ruins. So that is really interesting. I mean, we should probably start pretty on one of these novice ones. I wonder if the different regions actually look different, or if they're all just a dungeon. Let's see. Narcs of the Forest. Bandits attacked me while I was gathering herbs in the forest. I've managed to escape, but since then I feel like I'm being followed. Without fresh herbs, I won't be able to make medicine for those in need. Pray, drive the bandits away. Our reward will be 300 gold. Let's take on the quest. Use WASD to move and QE to turn. So exact same control layout as before. Press escape to access the pause menu. Okay. Alright, so the biggest difference here, straight off the bat, is there's actual, like, graphics. The first game was all wireframe. So it's very old school, like wizardry, might and magic, wireframe dungeon crawling graphics. This, we actually have some interesting things going on here. So I guess we can just push forward. Doesn't look like there's much in this room to really interact with, but I'm loving the change here and actually kind of having something to look at. I think, oh, here we are in a battle. So everything is auto-battling. I'm not inputting anything into the game right now. I'm not pressing anything at all, and things are just happening. And so I'm really interested on how some changes happen with combat. There's a bar over here on the left that I'm not sure what it does, but it looks like it's built up as we were in battle. So it seems like there's something to do there. Alright, I've just pressed pause. We're in the menu. Formation. Okay, I see. So, like I said, in the previous game, whoever you picked in these first two slots were going to be front row, and whoever were in these last two slots would be in the back row. So it looks like you can actually change that. So we'll put our two lowest defense people in the back. They have higher speed. Well, slightly. But we'll do that. Cool. And there's items. I don't have any items. Status. Oh, is there different items that you can get? Check skills. Armor breaker. There's only one. I wonder if we get more as we level up. Interesting. Alright, I'm excited about this. I'm excited to keep looking around here. Alright, do we got anything? Nope. It's also the perfect game for if you're like me and like seeing the map complete, then let me see the map. And so here's the map, and it'll fill in as you go along. The first game was really scratch that itch of just like walking around and filling up the map. So let's see what happens in our next room here. Looks like we got a wolf, and our samurai is not doing too particularly well. Okay. So looks like we got some enemies here. Usually in the previous game it would tell you what you're fighting. In this game it does not. So we are almost about to die. So we have 3 of our characters down actually. And we need to return to town to revive them. If we have medicine in our inventory, the character will revive automatically, which we do not. If the entire party is down, you return to town but lose a portion of XP and gold. So the penalty for death, there is a penalty for death, but it's not too massive. it's not going to like put you back hours and hours and hours. The whole premise of the game and of the previous game, like it says, is it's a dungeon crawling RPG for tired people. You know, if you're a tired people, you're not trying to lose hours of progress just because you messed up and died. And especially in this case, when you don't even have control of your party in battle. So it's no fun losing progress. So you don't really lose much of anything. You lose a little bit of XP, a little bit of gold, but all your level up stays. It's not like a roguelike where you have to start over from the very beginning or anything like that. So I think that's cool, but since we're this close to the entrance, let's just go back to town. We rest for 41 days. Oh boy. It's Etchison's birthday. Gift a novice robe. Oh, that is awesome. And it's also Helios's birthday too. That's funny. So two of our people share a birthday, and that's crazy. So do they have different equipment? You can get stuff on their birthdays? I wonder how many different ways there are to we have, when did we get this? Snake amulet. Boosts dexterity and poison resistance. I mean, we might as well have somebody equip that, right? Cheat plate and a novice robe. Oh, I see. The cheat plate increases physical defense, but lowers our speed and magic defense. So we'll keep that. I wonder if we can give that to Helios? Helios just has rags on, but can take on the novice robes. And that's general buff there. So that's cool. Alright, I love the fact that there's equipment this time. Gives a little bit more depth. So I'm curious now how we go back to that particular dungeon. Or get back to that quest. There's monster records. Okay, these are all the enemies that we have encountered so far. And in a log. I don't think the first one had that. I'll have to go back and check, but already the amount of things that have been expanded from the first one are kind of blowing my mind. I think that's really awesome. So let's go back into here to the quest. We are currently we were doing Narcs of the Forest. If we do this again, does it keep all of our progress from what we were doing? It does. Okay, so you can go back to town and rest up and everything, and things will be just fine. At the bottom of the screen, we have the health in red, and then the blue bar is experience. So once that fills up, we'll be able to level up, which costs gold. Alright, so we're back at these two guys that were beating the crap out of us last time. Looks like all four of our characters have leveled up, or can level up. And we got two different ways to go. We can go up or we can go down. Let's go down. Oh boy. Got quite low on health on the front row there, but we're up to 65 gold, and I do love the addition of these graphics. Oh, open. Oh, is that a chest? 56 gold found. Okay, we can explore. There's chests to find and everything. Oh, you know me, I'm a little loot goblin, and I love loot. So the fact that there's now loot in this game is already playing to its advantage for sure. Alright, you got a couple goats. We can get the goats before those guys die. Oh boy, that doesn't look good. Oh no. Nah, that wasn't good. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to town again. It's a lot like this in the early game, where I kind of just had to keep going back and forth to town and then going back. You can... It's Karis's birthday today, and we got 15 gold for it. Alright, now to level up, let's see if we can actually level up our party. To level up, we go to the guild, and there we go. Tobias. Oh, I see. Need 25 gold to level up, so we can level up Tobias for 25 gold. We can level up Etchison for 25, Karis, and Helios. So we got everybody leveled up to level 2, which is nice. And for the last 36 gold, let's see what kind of items there are. So there's medicine, warp scrolls, master key, and sell items. Do we have spare items? I don't know if we have spare items. We don't have any accessories. I don't want to equip rags. Oh, but we can sell the rags. So let's go ahead and sell that for 6 gold. Why the heck not? Now, if you're going to go... So, you can upgrade your character in 2 ways. You can level up using the guild. You have to have a certain amount of XP and a certain amount of gold that increases per level in order to level up your level, and then you can also level up and increase your items. And you do that over here at the blacksmith. The difference here, as you can see, if you played the first game, you would know you just upgrade. It would look exactly like the character upgrade menu, where you just level up the character, and that it just upgrades their equipment. But here we can actually upgrade specific pieces of equipment, which is going to definitely lend to a bit more strategy, because if we upgrade this junk sword and we find a sword in a dungeon that is way better, we kind of wasted, what, 25 gold to upgrade the sword, the short sword to short sword plus. And that will also increase as the game goes along. So let's go ahead and save the 42 gold we have, and let's get back out on the quest. And so another thing that you can do, I'll demonstrate it the next time we're out and about here. So once you're also in the dungeon, you can also just press town, and what it does, it will it can take you back to town without a teleport scroll, but it costs half your gold to do that, which doesn't feel too bad when it's only 21 gold and we only have 42, but it hurts a lot if you have like 14 gold and it costs 700 gold to go to teleport back to town. So at a certain point, we're definitely going to want to stock up on some teleportation scrolls so we don't have to do that. Or teleportation portals, rather. Alright, so let's fight these guys and see if we can't survive. Okay, we did. I'm still curious as to what that bar on the left-hand corner of the screen is going to do. But let's go ahead and go in here. We got some more enemies. Now, what I'm curious about, we got a chest. Failed to unlock. And that's what I'm assuming that master key was about, is that we could open chests. What it looks like, just based off of my observations of the map, is that the maps are much smaller in this game than in the first one. The first one, the Dragon Ruins, is pretty large, but this could also be large, I'm not sure. We haven't really done enough to really say that for sure. But it would make sense if we have a lot of more quests to do, and more different objectives, that we could do more of them. Oh boy. There's a lot of rooms to go into. So let's start over here first. This is not looking good. This is going a bit pear-shaped. Alright, so we have one person down. We have Tobias is down. And we have the other 3 party members still alive. So that's not bad. Let's go ahead and go in here. We'll turn around just in case we have to make a fast exit. Yep, we're going to make a fast exit. And we're going to go back to town. Yes. We rest for 41 days. We've already spent 119 days doing this one quest. So that's a bit interesting. I wonder if I don't think there's achievements. There wasn't achievements for the first game. But I'm very curious how fast somebody could actually complete all these different quests. So, 101 gold. Is there anything that we want to grab here? A two-way portal back to town and a master key. Unlocks treasure chests. We'll take one of those. Actually, let's buy another one, and then we'll go back into the quest. Because that chest was... Where was that? Was that in that bottom room, or this... was one of these, maybe? Maybe this bottom one? Let's go check it out. I think it was up here. And also, what it seems... I haven't been able to understand precisely, like... There's a chest over there. What makes enemies respawn or not. In the first game, because it seems like there's a bit of, like, permanence, where you can come back and enemies that you've previously fought won't be there anymore, so that you can... It makes it easier to go back to places you've already visited. But in an example like that, like we just had there, we had a battle here, but we've cleared this room before. So I'm not entirely sure what triggers enemies to respawn or not. In Dragon Ruins 1, I kind of had a suspicion that it was related to leveled ups. Like when you leveled up, you got... Like when you actually spent the money on a level and actually officially leveled up your character, that it would do a bit of a refresh and some enemies could respawn. But I'm not sure if that's actually the case, and I'm not sure if that is any different in this game. So, take that with a grain of salt. Because it seems weird, because it does seem like there's some level of permanence. Like, the enemies that we just fought, from my recollection, and I have to go back into the recording, it did look like those two enemies were the last two enemies that we had to defeat last time, just based off of my recollection of it. Alright, so we've got this whole hallway here. Let's go ahead and go back in here. And because really, all you end up doing is you kind of just clear rooms. And that's just kind of the fun, is it's just mindless clearing of the rooms. And you can walk around as you're in battle. There's a certain amount of spaces that once you go beyond, or if you go back out of the room, the battle will stop. And the enemies, like, don't chase you in or anything, which I think is cool, because it kind of just lends to that more relaxed nature. So if you're just trying to get from one place to another, you can just keep going. They're not going to keep chasing you or anything like that. So let's go in here. Oh boy, we're going to have to make an exit here. I can see that. Yep. Gonna have to make an exit and head back to town. We did get a warp scroll, so I should actually show you how that works. So once we're back here in the menu, we can just press use warp, and we press accept, and it'll return us to town for no money. No money was taken from us. We didn't lose any experience or anything like that, and it just takes you back to be able to rest. And so I don't think I really want to buy anything else right now. Buy any upgrades. We did level up, and one of the things that was a sort of peculiar about the first one was once you level up, you don't gain any more experience at all. So if it takes a little while before you upgrade and level up your characters, you won't continue getting levels to progress, or continue getting experience to progress, which is kind of a bummer, but also, like, it feels it felt weird to me to level up people staggered, so I usually just waited until I had enough gold anyway to level them up all at once. Might be a bad way to do things, might not be the most efficient way to do things, but I don't really play games to be efficient. As a matter of fact, I think that playing games efficiently can tend to lead to a lot of burnout with different games. People will optimize the fun out of their games, I feel like. So this is how I like to have fun. Alright, so let's just head back into the quest. I mainly did that just to show what the warp was like. And we're put right back to where we were. So we just get to go right back into this room that we left out on. And there we go. That was that room complete. Now let's go up here. We got one wolf. Not bad. And a chest. We used a master key and an adept hat. Alright. So who could use the hat? Tobias? Tobias? Wear the hat. Yes. I like to think of the little kid with a morning star wearing a nice funky hat. I think that's funny. We also have 165 gold now, so that's nice. I mean, really, that's all there is to the game. It's not a very complex game, even with some of the additions that it looks like that there is versus the first one. The first one was super simple. Okay, we're gonna have to get out of here. Ooh, do we try to... Oh no, we died. Okay, so we died. Dang it. That's a bummer. I was hoping to see if Tobias could take on that last wolf by himself without dying. But, as you can see, when you die, you get a message that says you're rescued after however many days. We lost a little bit of gold, about half, I think, probably. And we'll probably have lost half of our experience. It's Tobias's birthday, so he got 15 gold, and we can just head back into the dungeon. But as you can see, like, none of the quest progress has changed. We still have this much of the map discovered. Again, it's not a roguelike. It doesn't, like, reset the dungeon every time you die, which is really nice. And so this was the one that had that last wolf. Yeah, see, there was one wolf there, and usually in all these places that we have already been, there doesn't tend to be enemies. So I'm not sure what triggers when enemies come back or not. Okay. Goats. Another thing I've tended to notice too is when fighting creatures, you don't really gain gold, but when you fight, you gain gold when you fight humanoid enemies, but not necessarily creatures. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but let's see if we can make it here. We got through that, and see we gained some gold. When the United attack bar is filled, you can perform a powerful attack. Press F to unleash a united attack. Okay, so you can... There is a little bit of some more stuff that you can do in combat this game. A united attack. I wonder if that is kind of like a limit break, where it'll be like a big attack that you kind of want to use in specific situations. Let's go ahead and go back to town, though, so that we can rest up. And come back into the dungeon. And it just really kind of follows this simple loop. You go through the dungeon, you wait on these auto battles to happen, and you just keep pushing forward. I really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun and creates just a really chill, casual environment. I think this would be a great, fun game to like just chill out and play on the Steam Deck, because the first one was very good at that, and I can definitely see that this one, with the amount of added depth that this one has, I can it would definitely be perfect to add to your sort of Steam Deck portable rotation. Alright, so I'm interested in trying this unified attack, but I don't want to use it. Actually, we'll use it here, because we're on the verge of people dying. So let's see if... I also have 267 gold now, though, which could get us all a level up. So I'm kind of thinking we go back to town. But let's go into this one. Let's press our luck. It's going to be a famous last words, but we're going to do it. We're going to press F into a unified attack, and no. So that didn't kill everybody, but that was still kind of cool. Had some effects and everything going on there. But we're going to go back to town and get a level up. Rest for 37 days. Go to the guild. Level up Tobias. Level up Etchizin, Karis, and Helios. Perfect. In the first game, I didn't realize that you could actually go back to town by going back to the start of the dungeon. So I wasted a lot of gold in the first part of the game by spending half of my gold to go back to town. Once I figured it out, though, I definitely just tended to walk back through the dungeon a lot. And because also in the first one, I don't know if it'll really show up as much in this game, but in the first game I definitely felt a sense of, as you got deeper into the dungeon, different regions had different level of monsters to fight. So you could kind of be strategic in like going through particular areas, making sure that your route back to the dungeon entrance back to town was through a part of the dungeon that wasn't quite as dangerous. Oh boy, this might be a hard battle, so we'll get ready to run away if we have to. Alright, but we made it through, so that's nice. Let's see, we'll go in this outer room here. One enemy of each. I think we can get through this one. And we did. We might be able to get through this one too. We lost Etchizin. We're definitely running low on all of our health. But it almost looks like, unless this room starts taking us up even farther, it looks like this might be the top of the map. Which, yes, would definitely be much smaller than the first game. But with the amount of different quests there's different dungeons, I think that that's actually really cool. A really cool way to shake things up in a sequel. Oh boy, yeah, this is going to be bad. Oh no, I couldn't get to the exit in time. Oh no. Alright, we were rescued after 85 days. A new year dawns upon the people of Issaguir. And it's Tobias' birthday again. We got 20 gold. And Etchizin's, right, because it's both their birthdays. And a wing amulet. And it's Karis' birthday. How does that work? Wait. And it's Helios' birthday too? How does everybody have a birthday on the same day? But I'm pretty sure it wasn't day 30 of last year that it was their birthday. Or is it like cumulative? Like if you pass their birthday, you just get all of it at once? I don't know. Alright, so somebody else had an accessory. We got a wing amulet. Boosts agility and stun resistance. So let's take that. It also looks like you can edit the party and choose different characters. Okay, we don't want to do that. We'll stick with our characters. I'm committed to this troop. Committed to it. Alright, let's go back to the quest. I really thought I could make it back out. Alright, see now, this is the first time since we first came into the cave that we're battling people in this area of the map. So, I think that's, again, that's interesting. I don't know how to parse out when enemies respawn. And it could all be random. There's no denying that that's a possibility. Alright. I kind of want to see what's up here up north. I don't think we're going to actually make it, though, because we're getting our butts beat. Alright. We got most people leveled up here. Okay, we can just keep going back and forth into the tile. Come on, we gotta defeat that one dog. Alright, perfect. Yeah, we didn't even make it to where I wanted to go, so let's go ahead and head back again so that we can heal up. And I wonder how much it costs now to level people up. 75 gold. So it would cost 300 gold to level everybody up. Do we have anything that we can sell? No tradable items in the inventory. Fine. $50 gold. Oh, and the thing with upgrading items in this game, whereas in the first game, upgrading items and doing your level up was kind of basically just one of the thing. You kind of alternate. I'd level up, and then I would increase level of my items in between level ups and getting enough money for level ups, and then once I had enough money for upgrades, I'd spend it on that, and then spend it on level ups. It kind of go back and forth. Whereas in this game, with having different equipment, that increases the investment that you have to put into these items, right? Because, like, in the first game, you just leveled up Tobias's equipment. It was just one flat rate for all of his equipment. You just leveled up, say, I want to improve Tobias's equipment. And it was one cost. Here, we have to do two different costs. So to get Tobias up, we'd have to spend 100 gold on each of these people in order to level up their equipment once. So that's definitely a big difference in terms of like how you want to go about upgrading your characters, which might end up kind of creating a better tail end towards the end game, because towards the end of the game it might, once you get enough levels, it might start incentivizing you to upgrade your items more than trying to level up, just because the level up cost might be so high, so you might be more inclined to upgrade your items. That's a possibility. We'll have to see how that all plays out and everything, but I really enjoy this. I really want to complete this quest before the end of the video. We'll see if we'll actually be able to do it. Alright, so we made it all the way up to where we wanted to go without getting killed. We had a few misses there. Alright, that was a big battle. And so it looks like that connects there. Ooh, so I'm very tempted to come in down here then to be able to finish that up. that part of the map. Alright, we're still doing good. We got 374 gold now, which is nice. That will give us enough for a level up once we go back to town next time. We got 2 places here. We can go either right or up or north. So let's go to the right first. Not bad. Let's see. Oh boy. That is a big group of people. Okay, so let's see if we can manage some of this. Yeah, no, we're gonna die if we stay in there. We might not. We might be able to get it. 2 people dead. Ooh. I don't want to risk it. We have enough money for a level up, so I'm gonna go back to town and level them up, and then we can make it back here. It seemed like that might be the boss. So we rest for 45 days. We can level our people up. Perfect. 88 gold to spare. Let's go. See if we can take this guy on. See, now it's just that one guy. This looks like it is the end of the quest. Quest complete. Return to town to get your reward. Cool. And we got a chest here. We got a battle suit. Ooh. Items. Battle suit. 5 defense, 1 magic defense. Reduces agility. That's not very nice. Cheap plate. Tobias, have a battle suit. And then how is Etchisen's cheat plate? Oh, Etchisen also has cheat plate, so I don't know if we'd want to give cheat plate to Karis or Helios, because we want their speed up. We want their speed and agility high. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back to town. I kind of like that the dungeons are a bit smaller versus the first game, because this makes it a lot more manageable to remember in your mind as to like where to turn and everything. In the previous game, the Dragon Ruins that there was is just one big massive square dungeon with a ton of different corridors, and it all interconnected. Like there was every single gray spot that would be here would be some kind of room, and it was like that for the entire dungeon, which kind of gets hard to navigate at a certain point, and especially since the first game really just had wireframe graphics, sometimes it's really hard to like tell where you're at, which is one thing that I really appreciate about this, is being able to have the sort of the graphics. Now, I've been used to playing some of the more old school wireframe graphic type games, like Wizardry and old Might and Magic games, but it is a hard adjustment going back to, really, to try and orient yourself, especially when you have other games that, you know, have graphics and they're able to orient and see, oh, okay, I'm here at this side of the room, I need to be over on the other side, versus just moving around and seeing wireframes everywhere. Alright, so let's go back to town. Thank you. Now I can go back to potion making. You saved many lives today. I don't have much, but I hope this gold is enough. We rested for 24 days and we got 300 gold out of that. So now, as we're looking, we need how much to... Okay, I don't have enough experience to do that. At the trading post, you can't buy any weapons, it doesn't look like. But we can sell that cheap plate. get a little bit of money out of that. I don't know if this is how it is in this game, but in the first game, the amount for these warp scrolls, the master key, and the medicine only goes up. It only ever goes up. It isn't about how many you're holding. So it doesn't matter, because as you can see, the first master key we bought was 10 gold. Now they're 14 gold. And we're still holding 0. So it's not like, oh, it's 10 if you're holding 0, 12 if you're holding 1, 14 if you're holding 2, and then if you lose or use the master keys, you go back down to, okay, now I'm holding 0, now it's back to 10. No, it just only ever goes up. Which, at least for the strategy I used last time, I didn't really spend much money on the items until later on in the game. So towards the end of the game, when I went and fought the dragon, I hadn't really spent money on medicine, so I just was able to buy. I was able to start raking up like thousands of gold as I was fighting the enemies. Before I fought the dragon, I just went back to town. I bought a load of medicine, so I just went back to the dragon, and my characters died a couple times, but they just kept being able to be revived and just kept going, and I just had so much medicine that I was able to do that. So, and I was able to defeat the dragon that way. So that was my strategy for that, and it seems like that's going to hold true here. And like, whether or not that actually makes much of a difference, you know, it might end up being come out in the wash anyways. Like if you're able to stay out or use more master keys early game, you can get some good equipment, all that stuff. So there's different ways to play the game. You can definitely focus on what you want to focus on. But successful quest completed, and it looks like there's quite a few other ones here. And it looks like, I imagine, the quest we completed is gone now. So what I imagine is going to be able to happen is once we complete all of the quests, they will respawn in like a new game plus. So that's what in the first game, once you defeated the dragon, it would basically go into New Game Plus. It'd say, hey, it's been a year or however many years, and the dragon is back, and now you need to go and fight him again. And there would be higher groups of enemies, higher levels, and the dragon would be stronger. And so it seems like for this one, you might have maybe different stories take place as different quests come back. And maybe they don't come back until the end. I don't know. But I'm very interested in playing through the rest of this game. The improvements that have been made here it's really numerous. And I'm very, very impressed by how much the game has been expanded while still really keeping that really sort of casual dungeon crawling for tired people experience. So I put in about 3 or 4 hours into the first game. My first run to the dragon took about 2 hours to complete, and then I just played a couple more hours afterwards, checking out the New Game Plus, defeating the dragon a couple other times. But this one, I'm almost curious if this is going to take on quite a bit of a bigger life because of how much replayability there might be with the different quests, and with all the different characters that there are. Like, there's at least double the amount of characters, I feel like, in character classes in this game versus the first game. The first game, you didn't have items to equip, you couldn't loot things, you just were walking through the dungeon. So I'm really impressed by Dragon Ruins 2 as of now, as my first impressions. Both games are great. I highly recommend the first one, and I highly recommend checking out Terminally Nerdy's first impact video on the first game to sort of give you an idea of what that one is like. I'll link both Dragon Ruins 1 and 2. There's store pages down in the description down below. I'll also shoot a link to Terminally Nerdy's video on the first game down there if you're interested in that. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is where I'm going to call it for this video. This has been Dragon Ruins 2 by Grave Robber Foundation. Once again, thank you so much to the developer for giving me a review code for the purposes of making this video. I'm very impressed. I am definitely going to be playing some more of this later. So thank you all for watching. If you like the video, consider liking and subscribing, and let me know how I'm doing in the comment section down below. But other than that, guys, I will catch you all in the next video. Cheers.